Welcome to TMZ Live and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
The Celeste Rivas homicide investigation has taken a big turn. There is now a grand jury that has convened to try and dig up information that could lead to an arrest.
Yeah, the LA County District Attorney's Office presenting evidence to this grand jury, presenting the evidence they have at this point. And the grand jury, what we've heard is that the grand jury has been convened for several days in mid-November. What we don't know, because grand juries are all done with good reason in secrecy, so we don't know if they are done at this point.
They may still, my guess is they're still going.
I'm guessing they're still
let me kind of explain the way this works. This is an investigative grand jury. And the reason that they convene these is because the police can call somebody that they want to interview, and a lot of people clam up. They say, I'm not going to talk to you. They're afraid of incriminating themselves or other people. And it's very difficult sometimes for police to talk to people who are involved to get information. So the reason for a grand jury is that they can subpoena people and require them to testify. The only way somebody cannot testify is to use their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. But if there's no Fifth Amendment, they have to testify. So the police use the grand jury as an investigative tool to get things that they could not easily get.
They could also use this to get videos or other documents that, like you said, if someone is being a little difficult, they don't want to turn it over.
Right.
It gives them subpoena power. You can issue, obviously, a subpoena through the grand jury. I think the other big thing here is there's been so much that we have not been able to figure out about this investigation, right? I know you've had some great sources, but at the same time, there's so much mystery, it seems, behind this investigation, more so than most others that we deal with, because we know that this body was found in the trunk months ago now. We were always wondering why there was no tox report. We've now learned that because the body was potentially frozen and put on ice. This is a huge step. The fact that a grand jury has been convened means the cops are really, prosecutors are a long way down the road.
Or they're not.
Or they don't have enough.
Well, or they don't have enough. They need the grand jury to button
But I think it
up.
does point to that they think they know where they can get the information.
Right. That's exactly
and
right.
they're hoping by convening this grand jury, they're going to be able to get to it.
What we have been reporting and know is that although the medical examiner has not determined a cause or manner of death, the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division, they are viewing this as a homicide. And they are also viewing the singer David, who had some sort of relationship with this young girl.
Celeste, who was 14.
They are viewing him as a suspect. We're also told there is a second suspect that they're looking at who has some connection to the dismemberment of Celeste's body. As you know, that Celeste's body was found in David's Tesla near his rental house in early September, and it had been there for weeks. And we told you that LAPD knows this, that they believe that they have hard evidence. David took a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara in the spring of this year, spent in a very remote area and spent several hours there in the middle of the night. And they believe there may have been dismemberment there, but they think that is going to be a key part of this investigation.
So the grand jury, if they're now having subpoena power to the grand jury, could help them connect whatever dots they don't have connected yet. Like you said, we know that they know about this trip to Santa Barbara. They know the body was found in the car. And maybe they already know this and we just don't know it. What happened between the spring of this year, when this trip to Santa Barbara happened,
September,
and then September, and where was her body? If she was actually dismembered back in the spring.
From talking to our sources, and they're at various parts of this investigation, I think they know a lot about this, and it is puzzling. Where was this body? We did a story last weekend that we are told the body was partially frozen when found, which is remarkable since it was in a hot car for so many days. The LAPD captain connected to this case disputed that and said the body was not frozen. We went back to our sources, in particular a source connected to the medical examiner, who quadrupled down on this and said, no, the body was partially frozen. And as we reported, her fingers were so waterlogged they couldn't take fingerprints.
So one of the things would be, where was that body? Where was it frozen? Right? Where was it?
Where was
kept?
it? Period.
Where was it kept for all of this time?
And when did she die? And when did she die?
And then how does it end up dismembered in the front trunk, the trunk of his car? It's such a bizarre eventuality for this body, given what the police are saying it possibly happened in the spring in Santa Barbara, then frozen, then in the trunk of the suspect's car, or a suspect's car.
Everyone has been wondering why there isn't an arrest yet, and I think the fact that this grand jury has been convened tells you that they don't have enough yet for an arrest, but they are getting very, very close.
I don't even know very, very close. I was told don't expect an arrest immediately, although that obviously could change depending on what the grand jury got and what other information they're getting.
Hi, I'm Corey from Massachusetts, and this David case is very interesting because it's one of those situations where the internet believes that they solved this months ago, right? So I'm really wondering why it took police so long to even name him as a suspect, especially when his entire music catalog essentially confesses to a crime. That's exactly what happened here. So it'll be very interesting to see this play out and see if it does so without any corruption.
We got to say, he has not been named a suspect. We know he is being treated as a suspect. They have not officially named anybody. That's number one.
And while I hear what you're saying, that the internet believes they solved this, the internet doesn't have to actually prosecute and get a conviction.
That was my second point.
Right. The internet is just like, we know who did it. Well, prosecutors have a much bigger burden. DJ Khaled is getting called out by T-Pain. And in essence, what T-Pain is saying here is, you kind of just left me high and dry. And that he's basically saying in the music industry and show business, people say they love you, but do they actually love you? This is a hard lesson.
Is that news?
Well, for T-Pain, apparently, it was. He was on Shannon Sharpe.
It's not just in.
Well, so T-Pain was on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay. And Shannon asked him, what is the biggest lesson you've learned in all your years in show business? What's really shocking here is that he singled out DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Listen.
What have you learned about this business in 20 years?
Nobody is your brother. Everybody's your brother while they can use you. I've had DJ Khaled. Everybody done told me I'm your brother. Do not believe that.
Man, you know you're going to get me in trouble, man.
It's not a DJ Khaled type of thing. That's just the first person I can think of. But we talking about so many people, because you got to think of how many people I've helped throughout their career. Everybody is like, oh my God, thank you so much. You're my brother. And it's just so much of that back to back, back to back, back to back. You're my brother, you're my brother, you're my brother, you're my brother. And then none of that was reciprocated.
Wow.
Are they on lawnmowers?
Yes, they're on lawnmowers. We'll get to that. But Khaled is one of those guys that in show business, everyone's always like, oh, I love Khaled. He's the greatest. Everybody always gets on his albums with him. So to have T-Pain just call him out like this, I didn't know that there's clearly been a rift between them that only they know about.
Can I tell you something? I literally, like,
you can't get past the lawnmower.
No. I mean, well, that too. But 10 minutes ago, I got off the phone with somebody who I love, and it's somebody that I've known over the years. And she said to me, I just want to say for Thanksgiving, I'm really so thankful for all the things you've done for me. And I was so stunned because you just don't say hear that in this business. So for the idea that he is like,
so on Thanksgiving, you have T-Pain saying, no one's got gratitude in this business,
I mean, I did a little bit of digging, and T-Pain hasn't been on the DJ Khaled album since 2013, but he helped give him his first platinum plaque. I'm So Hood, it wouldn't have happened without T-Pain. So you understand why he feels kind of way.
Early in Khaled's career. That was one of his.
Yeah, 2008 when he first broke out. So you gotta rise with the people who helped start with.
What's interesting is that
that's the theory.
Yeah, that's the theory. But interesting, that's so long ago, and yet we haven't heard either of them publicly say that this is an issue. Clearly, it's been.
Can we please now get to the lawnmower?
Now you want to get to the lawnmower? It is really.
First of all, it's a really cool lawnmower.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Shannon's podcast in a bit, so I don't know how long he's been doing this.
Probably a sponsor.
But clearly it's got to be a sponsor, whoever makes those lawnmowers, and I mean, it's not even subtle. Look at us. We're just standing here.
I know, but they're bitchin' lawnmowers.
Can we
really
get just a stool or something to sponsor us?
Wow.
Stevie Derrick, Indianapolis, Indiana. I support T-Pain calling out someone he considered his brother and his disloyal and dishonest actions, because I believe if that's how he treated him, he should be speaking up about it. And then people would know that they shouldn't deal with Khaled in that way either. It's just the truth that just needs to come out. Don't deal with people who are showing up.
We don't know Khaled's side of this. Obviously, T-Pain's got issues. I hope he's said this to Khaled personally, and this isn't the first time that it's coming out.
I'm sorry for laughing, but it's just so,
Coming up.
Yeah, they say in show business, if you have a career, you have one thing that you do well, that's great.
Stay in your lane.
But Kathy Ireland, well, sometimes the sea just calls you. And now she is doing commercial fishery. And she is joining us now to talk about this latest venture. Kathy Ireland, welcome to TMZ Live.
Be right back.
Yeah, they say in show business, if you have a career, you have one thing that you do well, that's great.
Stay in your lane.
Sometimes they say stay in your lane, and then some people venture out of it, and you can have a second chapter.
How about 3?
3 is pretty rare air, but Kathy Ireland has figured out a third chapter. I know Kathy Ireland growing up. She was one of the first supermodels.
Would you just be honest? She was all over Charles's wall.
All right, there may have been a poster or two, maybe. And then, of course, she launched Kathy Ireland Brands, doing fashion, home decor, furniture, and all of that.
And wildly successful.
Incredibly successful. So why would she need a third chapter? Well, sometimes the sea just calls you. And now she is doing commercial fishery. And I don't mean like she owns a boat.
Or she's doing commercials for fishery.
Or she's doing commercials. She is actually out there doing the fishing. It is sort of a family biz. And she is joining us now to talk about this latest venture. Kathy Ireland, welcome to TMZ Live.
Aw, thank you. Great to be with you guys.
Well, first of all, I think I can speak for him. We're fanboying out. I mean,
Yes.
it's so nice to talk to you. So you got to explain this, because you live this world of glamour. And my vision of what you do now is the exact opposite.
Well, that's about right. The opportunity came up. I love the outdoors, and my husband, 40-year ER doctor, he's been commercial fishing for the last 20 years. I always love to learn new things, and I think it's really helpful for life and business. Some people golf, I commercial fish, and it's a wonderful way to experience my husband's passion, to learn the business, and there's so many similarities in fishing and in business.
Really? What? Please tell me, because I don't know about you. How much fishing have you done?
A little. I mean, I couldn't catch fish at Sportsman's Lodge in the valley. So no, I want to hear the connection.
Yeah.
You need to have intuitive skills. You need logic. You need lobster. That's what we're fishing for. They move around at night, so it's very difficult to track them. You have to understand these animals. When you're in business, you've got to understand who you're dealing with. You've got to know your margins. So whether you're looking at the cost of fuel, bait, materials, the same thing in business. We're always looking at our profit margins, our ROI. And you want to look at customer service. For us, that's most important. And for my husband, he loves his customers. He loves what he does. Our oceans I'm so excited how abundant they are. We're fishing from Santa Barbara up to Point Conception and out to the Santa Barbara Channel Islands, which is a national wilderness park. It's just beautiful out there. It's pristine, and the geography and it really, and the weather prevents people from going out there because it gets pretty rough quickly. You have to be able to pivot in business, and when you're heading out to sea, the weather's dynamic. You've got to be prepared. You have to be hyper alert when you're on the boat. You're looking out for ropes that can trip you, for dangers everywhere. You've got to be aware that you're not running over someone else's ropes. Always alert. and in business, you got to watch out for sharks in business as well.
That is true. As you're describing it, it sounds like an episode of Deadliest Catch. Did you watch any of that? Did that
Oh, I love Deadliest Catch.
prepare you for what you're going through out there on the high seas?
Definitely. And though, the Bering Seas do have an impact on the Santa Barbara Channel Islands, it's not quite the same. It's not as deadly where we are, but it's actually a lot more dangerous than I anticipated. So I'm grateful to be out there with my husband. When we go out, it's the two of us. We're out for 2, 3, 4 days at a time.
Just the two of you? You don't have any other crew?
No, we're doing it. And
So you lower the traps, you do the whole thing.
I'm learning. I'm literally learning the ropes, and I have a long way to go. I'm so grateful to my team at work. I work with the most amazing team who, when the calendar opens up, I'm out there with my husband. Otherwise, I'm continuing to run our business and grateful to our customers who have been so loyal for so many decades. And it's exciting what we're doing moving forward.
It seems like you're doing a great job. You're pretty handy with the traps there, pulling them up. I don't know exactly what you're doing, but it looks great.
Well, and what you just saw, that was day one when we had just finished baiting, so it was before we were allowed to pull up lobster. So I'm learning how to receive traps. I told someone that we had 360-pound traps, and he heard 360-pound traps. I thought that was so sweet. He thought we were that strong. The traps are actually 60 pounds, but we've got 300 of them.
So I run a business too. And can I give you an idea?
Yes, thank you.
As we were talking, here's what you should do.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming you're selling these to stores and to restaurants and whatnot, right?
We've got a wonderful domestic market. Sea Stephanie Fish and Real Good Fish are a couple of them. My husband also loves to sell to individuals because he takes such care of his product. This is another correlation in my business. We're always like, okay, who's our customer? How do we serve them better? How do we get them the best price to value ratio? Under promise, over deliver, something my dad taught me when I had a paper route. But that's how my husband deals with fish. And so always the customer service is so important.
Okay, but here's the thing. I get the names that you have now. I'm telling you, I got a better one. No, I do. It should be lobsters from Ireland. And you see that on the menu, and it just feels like I got to try a lobster from Ireland. And if you see it,
Ireland is renowned for their lobster.
You don't even think of it, and all of a sudden you say, "I want to try a lobster from Ireland."
Just because it's different.
Kathy, I'm telling you, you can take this idea free.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. Very rarely does anyone give a free idea. So
always here to help.
That's
I will
what
ponder that.
So, Kathy, besides the fishing venture, what else do you have going on? I mean, we can see the incredible decor that you're sitting in there, which is that all Ireland's brand? Brand.
These are we're coming out with wonderful lines. It's really exciting for 2026 in home and apparel fashion. We're launching a new fragrance, Kathy Ireland fragrance, and I have to tell you, after being on the boat, it really comes in handy. And when you're really busy, I do shower, but shower in a bottle sometimes is a great solution.
Oh my God.
For the fishermen in your life.
You are awesome.
Fragrance.
You are awesome. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you.
This has been really an incredible treat for us. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you so much.
Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Coming up.
You started a bit of a movement, and it's been picking up steam. We're talking about Out With Their Asses. Outa. And it seems like there's a Bravo star who has adopted that same philosophy. Dr. Heavenly Kimes from Married to Medicine, she has decided to throw her hat in the ring for a congressional seat in Georgia. She wants change, and she is here to talk about that.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
It's TMZ.
you started a bit of a movement last month, and it's been picking up steam. We're talking about Out With Their Asses, OUTA.
OUTA.
And it seems like there's a Bravo star who has adopted that same philosophy, which is if Congress, the members of Congress aren't going to actually do their jobs and get things done together, then everyone needs to be primaried. And one of the people who is stepping up against a sitting member of Congress is Bravo star Dr. Heavenly Kimes from Married to Medicine. She has decided to throw her hat in the ring for a congressional seat in Georgia, a U.S. congressional seat. And she has already launched her campaign trying to unseat Representative David Scott, who's been in Congress for 20-something years.
He's 80 years old.
Yes, and so she wants change, and she is here to talk about that. Joining us right now, Dr. Heavenly, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're good.
So there's an old saying, out with the old. Is it out with the old as in the dude's 80, or out with the old as in we just want to get rid of all the people who are there right now because they don't seem to have the ability to reach agreement on anything? Which is it?
So for me, it's not just out with the old, because I respect the guy, right? But he has not shown up for our community. He has not shown up. When the big, beautiful bill passed again and again, we heard nothing from him. And it's been stated that he has not voted for himself in the last 6 years. I'm not saying anything bad about the guy, but this is so serious right now. We don't have time to figure out why he's not showing up. We just know he's not showing up.
So when you say not showing up, that he has not actually voted on, did he not vote on the big, beautiful bill?
They're saying that he's not showing up. He's actually been demoted from his positions in Congress. And they're saying he's not actually voted physically for the race in 6 years.
So it does feel like there is an age issue here. I know you're saying it's not about that, but if he's not showing up, if you're right, that sounds to most people like he's slowing down because he's old. So that seems to be the battle cry in 2025.
Yeah, I think it's a definite movement that we need something young, fresh, and new. And that's why I'm stepping up and stepping out. Nothing personal against the guy. I'm sure he has a great record, but it's time for something new. We need somebody that's going to speak up and speak out. When the big, beautiful bill passed, we heard nothing from our congressmen. And I know in Congress, they're supposed to be the voice of the people. In District 13, they got no kind of roundtable discussion, no kind of town hall to give the people the transition on how they're supposed to survive when all these things are happening real time.
So, Dr. Heavenly, some people would look at you and say, you're crazy. Why are you doing this? You have been on a very successful show for a dozen years, and stepping into politics is a dirty business. Why are you, and that's one part of my question is, can you still be on the show? Obviously, if you win, you're not going to be able to still be on the show. Are you going to still be on it throughout your campaign?
Now, that's unprecedented. They do not know yet whether I can or even if I want to be, but that's not my primary issue. The reason I'm running is because this is personal for me. I'm someone that grew up on free lunch. I'm someone that father was a veteran that actually died with Agent Orange. So all these issues on Medicaid, on the ACA, all this stuff is real for me. People have a problem with affordability. They cannot pay their bills. So when I see in my district, which I've been a doctor for over 25 years, and I see patients that cannot afford their prescriptions, I feel like, you know what? Can I use my platform for something positive? I've been working here 25 years. These people are not just my patients, not just my community, but at this point, they're my family. And as a double HBCU graduate, I see them pulling funds from the schools in the very things that got me here. So I would be remiss not to step up and step out for my community and my people.
Okay.
Good answer.
You are in Georgia. So
Yes.
There's been a lot of speculation about Marjorie Taylor Greene, that she now says she's not going to run for president. She's not going to run for governor. What are you hearing in Georgia? What's she up to? What's her plan?
You know what? A lot of people are confused by Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, first she was a Trumpster, right? And now she's saying she's turning a new leaf. It's kind of convenient for me because I feel like that party is on a down spiral. So I don't know what her angle is. However, if she stepped out of Congress because she's been threatened, I have to take her word at that. But she's the last vote on the big beautiful bill. Had she not voted for it, it would not have passed. So, we got to look at that as well.
Do you have any concerns, Dr. Heavenly, getting into politics at this time? We've talked a lot about political violence this year, and just that the temperature has been, even though there's been a lot of talk about bringing it down, it sometimes feels like it is not at all. Is that something that you discussed with your family before making this decision?
Absolutely. I discussed it with my family, but I feel like it's a time like now for Dr. Heavenly. I think that 20 years ago, a reality TV star may not be fit for politics, but now somebody that's been working for 25 years in the industry, that's built jobs, built industries, done payroll, understands businesses, built them from the ground up. Somebody like me, it's time for somebody like me to speak up and speak loudly.
So you should just know, since you're much, much younger than me, being a reality star is not the first rodeo of people running for Congress. I will give you Gopher from Love Boat, Fred Thompson from the movies, and George Murphy, who was a B-list movie star who tap danced. So there's a long history.
and or just running for president.
Oh yeah, Ronald Reagan.
Sometimes you just jump to president.
And Donald Trump, right?
Right.
Hey, it's great having you on. We really appreciate it.
Wish you the best, and we'll be watching your campaign. So, just to be clear, are you still going to be on the show at least through your campaign?
For my career here, I don't know. I'm thinking yes, but I don't know for sure. We'd have to talk to Bravo about that and how that would be, feasible. But my answer is go to drheavenly4georgia.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow me. We're doing some amazing things with Medicaid and the community. But the TV show is on the back burner for me. And I think this is the most important issue, helping our people with affordability and with healthcare.
Okay, we're going to follow your campaign. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, take care.
Coming up.
If you have any kids around, you might want to cover their ears for this one because this is not a good message, but rapper Juelz Santana from Dipset, he says kids don't need to learn to read anymore.
Be right back.
It's supposed to be charitable on Thanksgiving, but this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. To your point, if you have any kids around, you might want to cover their ears for this one because he's right. This is not a good message, but rapper Juelz Santana from Dipset, he says kids don't need to learn to read anymore. I remember I saw this headline and I was like, how can he possibly defend this? I'm not sure that he did a good job, but this is what he said on the
No Funny Bleep podcast.
On the No Funny
Can't say the bleep part.
Which is a very appropriate title.
If he learned to read that, he'd know that you can't do stuff like bleep like that.
This is Juelz's explanation about literacy for kids these days.
We gotta start teaching our kids though, just financial wealth and literacy and all that early, because by the time they get to 9th grade, they should be just learning how to start businesses
These kids can't read
and how to. But they don't really need to know how to read.
Wait, stop.
I ain't gonna say that. I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that in a way to be literate, because you're not supposed to be illiterate, but you can.
What's more important, reading or math?
Math.
Told you.
Math. I think you could listen to a book on YouTube. You can still obtain the information. And you don't have to know how to read. Nowadays, you can listen to a book. I just listen to the 48 Laws of Power. Not to.
You gotta read your contract, Els.
You don't have to. You can listen to that too. They got apps you can put it in and it'll read it to you. Are you crazy?
Oh my God.
You know what? The title of this podcast is perfect. That is not funny bleep. That is a horrible message to are we putting out there?
But I will say, there is a problem with this.
His point was...
Because what happens is there are so many, people read, but there are so many shortcuts now with
apps and different AI platforms.
You don't have to understand what's behind anything anymore. You can just, at face value, get through life. It is a terrible way of living that you only know the surface issue and you can't analyze.
Yes, we all agree that this is a bad message. But what is intent and...
Yeah, what is his intent?
He literally
Juelz,
said...
you missed the mark.
He said we should be teaching kids financial literacy, which literacy has to do with reading. You have to read to know financial literacy.
Right. I think his point was that it is just as important, and to him at least, more important that kids understand finances and how to save money
and if he's watching,
how to invest money.
If he's watching, you're trying to save him. You're giving him an out.
If he happens to be watching this, it is not MUTUL. What? MUTUL. I got to type it now.
Oh, gosh.
Mutually exclusive.
Yeah, what?
MUTUALLY.
I literally need the keyboard.
See what happens if you don't learn how to read, kids? Do you see?
Patrice from Virginia. I have to say, Juelz should be the last person to talk about reading in the first place if you already admitted that that's not where your mastery is. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because this is why we have to take pod mics away from people, because y'all haven't mastered it. And you're talking about things you shouldn't be talking about. At this point, we don't even know if he meant to spell his name that way. He probably misspelled it.
That's hysterical.
He doesn't even know that his name is spelled Juelz. He's like, I thought there was a W in there. What?
Funny.
Well, Andrew Tate, the guy who's become a fixture, see him at a lot of UFC events. He has a podcast, is basically kind of the poster boy for toxic masculinity, and he's very proud of that. He has got a new lawsuit now in his hands from his ex-girlfriend, Bree Stern. And you'll remember she filed a lawsuit against him earlier this year accusing him of sexual assault. By the way, the police investigated that. They dismissed it, said there was not enough evidence, but her lawsuit continues. But now she says Andrew set what she's calling a honeypot trap for her, which resulted in her being trapped in Dubai for 6 weeks, where she was under a travel ban and not allowed to leave the country because of something he said to police. Now, this is what Bree says in this new lawsuit, that back in June, Andrew went to the police in the United Arab Emirates and said, this woman has been saying all sorts of disparaging things and lies about me on social media. And he presented them what he said were tweets. Now, in the lawsuit, she says these are all fabricated. She didn't actually say these things about him. But the police have that stuff. The way it works over there, that opens an investigation. So This is what Bree says in the lawsuit. The reason she calls it a honeypot trap is she knows that Andrew, her ex-boyfriend, knows she's a model who goes to Dubai quite frequently. She got to the country, she went to Dubai in late September, no problem. But as soon as she got ready to leave a few weeks later, she was stopped at the airport and said, you're under investigation, give us your phone, you cannot leave the country. And there she was for 6 weeks. She was interrogated multiple times. She went to the embassy trying to get help, couldn't get help, and was just told, you gotta wait this out.
Look, I don't know, and this is what she says in the lawsuit. Right. And I'm not saying she did anything, but there's more than just she talked trash on social media.
Yeah.
There's more to
You would think it would be very easy. And look, they ultimately let her go because she returned in mid-November to Los Angeles. So.
Although, I got to tell you, Mike, it's not clear from the lawsuit how she got back.
Right.
I don't know if they let her go.
Right.
Who knows? She just says that she somehow got back to LA around November 21st.
There was something more.
Think they'd be able to tell if she actually did say the stuff she said. They could check with the social media companies. You wouldn't think.
She says that she was interrogated. She told the police during those interrogations, what you're looking at he put these together. Right. Some of that is stuff I actually did say, and then he put it together with made up stuff to make it seem like that's her side of the story.
But again, I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I'm just saying that it's
her being held
for 6 weeks over talking trash on social media.
That's all social media is.
Listen, I haven't been on I haven't been on Twitter while I'm in Dubai.
Let's put it this way.
So
if that's true, the people who write comments on TMZ.com
do not go to Dubai.
Coming up.
You always hear people say it's good to be the king. It's not bad being the queen either. Your favorite author might just write you into his next novel.
So this new book actually has Queen Camilla in it.
Be right back.
You always hear people say it's good to be the king. It's not bad being the queen either. As Queen Camilla is now discovering that because of her high position in the royal family, there are some perks that come with it, like your favorite author might just write you into his next novel, which is what happened with the novel it's entitled The Hawk is Dead. What's the author's name?
Peter James.
Peter James, her favorite, which she's talked about him being her favorite.
She loves Peter James. Actually, he's got a huge cult following. He basically has these novels all about Roy Grace, who's this like really badass detective. So this new book actually has Queen Camilla in it. Like he writes to her being in this book, and it basically starts out with her being on this royal train that is taking her
Express.
True. And it's taking her to a speaking engagement, and basically the
there's
train.
an attack, right?
Yeah, the train derails. There's an explosion. Her private security dies, and she becomes kind of like an amateur sleuth in the beginning of this book.
Now the big question is, when there's a movie made, who plays the queen?
Who plays Camilla?
Ooh.
Got ideas?
Not a one.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, Meryl Streep's a good idea.
That's not bad, actually.
Or
Meryl Streep.
Helen Mirren.
cheap
Or
seats.
Helen
Meryl
Mirren.
Streep.
Nice. But Helen Mirren is too in the nose. Helen Mirren's too in the nose.
Yeah.
Plus, topless is not going to work in this one.
What?
Well, she's topless in a lot of movies, Helen Mirren. She is. No, that's fact.
Coming up.
Cynthia Erivo is probably not singing any of the Wicked songs this weekend. Somewhere, she is singing the thong song. She said that Sisqo's performance of the thong song was a vocal masterpiece. We got Sisqo responding to that praise.
Be right back.
We are going to count down the 10 most outrageous stories of the year.
I'm not incapacitated.
Over 10 million page views.
Amazing. This wedding costs between $20 and $50 million. Crazy. The biggest case since O.J. Simpson.
Don't you say that. I know the two words you're going to say.
Baby oil.
TMZ's most outrageous moments of 2025. Tuesday at 9, 8 Central.
It's outrageous.
On Fox.
Well, this weekend, anyone who's been to the movies, and even if they weren't at the movies, they're probably singing something from Wicked, and we have Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande to thank for that. But Cynthia Erivo is probably not singing any of the Wicked songs this weekend. Somewhere, she is singing the thong song. You may have seen this recently. She did an interview where she said that Sisqo's performance of the thong song, 25 years ago, was a vocal masterpiece. I mean, that's very high praise from someone like Cynthia. We got Sisqo responding to that praise. Here's what he had to say.
I was really shocked when I saw that that Cynthia said something about my song when she did that interview because, man, like I said, both Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are two of my favorite vocalists. Given the range and the professionalism of those guys' talent, I wasn't surprised at all when I saw how she broke it down because I'm like, that's why she's one of my favorite vocalists.
Wow, that's high. That is really cool.
Devin, you spoke to him.
Yeah, so I spoke to him. So the interesting thing is he has a show at the O2 Arena in England in 2 weeks. So he put it out there to Cynthia. He goes, "You're done with the whole press tour. I'm offering you a VIP backstage, and so we could maybe see her sing the thong
if
song.
she came out on stage,
I mean, that would be amazing.
That would be. Wow.
And the other thing that I found kind of interesting is he said that the most shocked person he ever was that was a big fan of the thong song was Michael Jackson. Reached out to him and flew him out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. If Cynthia Erivo goes on stage, Oh,
And you made it happen, Dad.
You made it happen. You make dreams come true.
What can I,
TMZ.
What can I say?
This is Kayla tapping in from Virginia Beach. I just want to say it was amazing for such a vocal powerhouse like Cynthia to give Sisqo flowers. We all know Thong Song to be this iconic song to want to get up, dance, have a good time, but we don't really hear often Sisqo get his flowers for his vocals and how well he delivered on that song. So vocal validation from Cynthia, especially with her performance in Wicked, I think it just speaks volumes and very well deserved.
It is true. If you want to go back and listen to the song, coming out of the bridge, going to that final chorus, the key change,
Yeah, people are trying it in the office right now. You don't want to hear.
Coming up.
I feel like Sydney Sweeney, the dream role for her would be a mermaid. She clearly loves the water. She is back in Washington State, where I believe that's where her family's from.
She is an accomplished
and
water
she
skier.
loves water skiing.
Be right back.
I feel like Sydney Sweeney, the dream role for her would be a mermaid. She clearly loves the water. We showed you she was down in the Keys where she lives earlier this week with her boyfriend Scooter Braun, but she just posted a video on Wednesday afternoon that she is back in Washington State, where I believe that's where her family's from.
She is an accomplished
and
water
she
skier.
loves water skiing. She said it's only 42 degrees. She's wearing a wetsuit, but she says this is her happy place, and she says this is the last water skiing she's going to get in before it freezes over.
Love water skiing more than anything.
And you love jet skiing a lot too.
And she's good. I know, Sydney and I are like this.
Wow.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a great,
believe me, I wish you were more like Sydney. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
That is just weird. That was weird.